Welcome back to the show. My name is True. Welcome to Green Room Radio, the dopest radio show in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
I am here with my counterpart, Mr. Will.
Mr. Full-time CEO Will Roundtree. True. Come on, put some respect on my name, man.
Full-time CEO, and I noticed he tattooed it on him, so he ain't bullshitting with that either.
I can't go back.
And then we have a very special guest this week. I'm actually really excited about this one. Her name is Nicole Mitchell.
That's
Nicole with the K.
That's right.
Nicole with the K.
Nicole with the K.
Put some respect on her name, True.
How do you spell that? Nicole with the K?
Yeah, Nikole.
Oh.
I know. I've only met one other woman in
I
my life who spells her name like that.
And that was legit on your birth certificate.
That's my parents' choice.
Okay,
yeah.
so we have a lot to go into with you.
Do.
But to start, where are you from? Did I hear you say you're from Minnesota?
I used to live there. I moved to California 6 years ago.
Okay, but you were in Minnesota all the way up?
No, my dad was in the military, so I grew up all over the U.S. and in Europe. And then they retired in Minnesota when I was in high school. And then I've lived everywhere since then.
Okay, so you're Midwest.
Yeah, I'm like a kind of nomad.
You still got your Midwest
Tiny
qualities?
bit. People here, qualities, yes. I'm a very friendly Californian. I'm the person who's like, hi. And Californians do not wave to each other. They all are very awkward when I'm like,
we're all from the Midwest, and I noticed it too. I try to speak to my neighbors, and they're like, they turn opposite direction.
Yes.
It blows my mind out here.
I do miss that in California. I miss the Midwest and Southern charm.
Definitely.
I lived in the South for a while, and I'm just like, I just miss people talking to everybody.
Just people having like little barbecues or get-togethers.
They don't do that out here.
Out here, man, people are in very stringent little pockets.
You can't even walk in your neighbor's yard. Everybody has a retaining wall. We used to walk in each other's yards in the Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, True, can I borrow some sugar?
Yeah. Nobody. I'm sitting here envisioning Savannah doing that. I'm trying to think what kind of sugar she'd be asking for, but we're gonna we're gonna call it Pioneer Sugar because that was a Michigan brand. Okay, so you moved to California 6 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to start. So when you moved, where did this? Did you say priest?
Yeah, pastor. I was a megachurch pastor.
Megachurch.
Yes.
Like Joel Osteen size.
Yeah, not that size. Ours was about 3,000 to 4,000 in person and 20,000 people streaming online every week.
And was this in Minnesota?
Yes.
I mean, okay. So first of all, did you have to go to school for that? Obviously.
You don't have to. And actually, I was raised super conservative, super religious, super evangelical, where the only role for a woman was to have babies and cook in the kitchen. And I picked up on that messaging very little. All the churches I grew up in, it was all the men in leadership positions, all the women in the nursery and in the kitchen. And so when I became an adult and very much fell in love with theology and preaching and teaching, that was my first big sin. And coming out moment was coming to my parents saying, I want to be a pastor because women are not allowed to be leaders in our churches.
What denomination?
Baptist.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that was a big moment. They had a really hard time with it. And I tried to reassure them, which I'm now eating the words I said, but I said, can we just agree that I just want to tell people that God loves them. I'm not a stripper or doing drugs. Now I'm doing all those things. But
I was gonna say you don't look like the girl that I saw on Dr. Phil. Was that more your pastor?
No,
look?
Dr. Phil was just a few years ago, but I had to dress very conservative. That was their rule.
That was their rule?
Yep. They put me in like 5 different outfits trying to make sure everything was covered and proper for their show.
I want to go back to the religion portion that when you were preaching. So I actually read somewhere that if you go to theology school, what they teach is actually counterintuitive to what the parishioners actually learn. So is that true that the messaging is different when you go to school versus the message that you preach? Because it's almost like they teach you to sell religion like a business.
Ooh. So my seminary that I went to, and I just graduated in 2019 from there. So this wasn't even that long ago. And I actually give credit to my seminary for a big reason why I left the faith. It's a very liberal school. So it's had Muslim, Baha'i, Jews, atheists, Christian, queer. Everyone came here to study scripture, which is so bizarre in the first place. And we would be given the same passage of scripture, and then everyone had to bring their tradition's interpretation to a class to discuss. And I would sit in that room and I'd listen to everyone go before me. And I liked everyone else's interpretation more than mine. And I realized how mine was so whitewashed, male-centric, heterocentric, because I'm a biracial queer woman. And the version that was passed down to me did not represent me.
When you say biracial, what do you mean?
My mom's Korean and my dad's white.
Okay, so Korean and white.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said queer?
Yes.
Queer.
So I identify as pansexual. I love all humans. I like.
Okay, so
don't even.
we used to have this. It's not this guy right here, but we used to have a producer, and he said that a while back, and so that was the first time I've heard that word.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what does that mean exactly?
So for me, what pan means, it's similar to bisexual, but I think a common misnomer with bisexual is like you're either into like really masculine men and really feminine women. And I actually am more of the opposite. I like more effeminate men. I love more masculine women. I actually have a big preference for trans or non-binary people. But for pan, it means it's across. And I love all genders.
Is that the same as fluid?
That's more gender identity. This is
Okay.
my sexual attraction is I'm attracted to people of all bodies,
Yeah, that's what we
ranges,
tried get
genitals.
when he brought that out to us. That really like, we were like, well, like, what does that mean?
Right.
Like even beyond, like, so how did we say it? I don't want to say beyond human, but somebody was like, when you say everything, does that mean animals?
Yeah,
Like,
not me.
nah,
I mean, I think
I don't
animals
think
are
it.
gorgeous, but no, I
Yeah.
prefer humans. I prefer human genitalia.
And then but you said you're attracted to the transgender, so
Oh,
you're basically
yes.
getting a guy and a girl,
Oh,
or vice versa.
I love gender benders. I love
Gender
people who
So,
break the
so,
rules.
so if somebody was born a woman but they have a penis, that would be attractive to you, or
Yes, or someone born a man and who identifies as a woman, whether everyone's different because some
right?
people have surgery, some don't. And so I love whatever package you come in. If I vibe with you, I'm down. Like it's
Mm.
so simple and
Mhm.
straightforward that I just love people.
What do you think about all this stuff going on when they say the transgender stuff about God, who just said it? I don't know what I saw it on. Maybe we'll say rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. But I think I heard him say, he said, "Why is it not okay for men to stand outside your house and look at a woman undressing in the window,
Hmm.
but it's okay for a man, to identify as a woman and go into like a locker room or a bathroom?"
Yeah, I think one is we live in a patriarchy. So when you are born a cisgendered man, you have power and privilege more than a woman does. So there's a power differential there where I do believe it's a man's number one job to make a woman feel safe when you're in a patriarchy. Then when you're trans, all of my trans friends, the amount of fear and therapy and years they've had to go through to finally admit the truth of who they are and then have the courage to walk into a space that was not designed for them in mind is one of the scariest moments of their lives. And they are actually the most prone to be attacked and murdered in that space
Hmm.
than they are to attack or hurt anyone. And so I actually feel the safest when trans people are in my bathroom because I know how scared they are. I know they've had a fight for their equal rights. And I'm like, I got you, boo. You got me. Like, I feel way safer with trans
Do
people
you
than a
do you
straight dude.
like I haven't I don't I haven't been around a lot of trans people, but would you say, I mean, I feel like that's an outlet for somebody who might be a creepy guy.
Hmm.
Is there those that try to slide in under
No,
that?
unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, it's both. Creepy guys will be creepy. They don't need to hide their identity, their gender. They will be
Okay.
creepy as they are. They won't. No man dresses up a woman to be creepy. They just go be creepy to women.
Okay. Now I think I don't know if I saw this, heard this. The we'll say the dad. I hate when people say baby dad. The father of your kids, was he a pastor?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I heard because I was like, wait a
Some
minute,
people
how
think
could
that just because
okay.
most men are the pastors, so they always think either he was or we were, but it was just me.
And how did
No.
he feel about that?
He
Like,
loved it. He was always my biggest champion until he wasn't. So he always saw greatness in me. He's like, go, go. He's the one who pushed me to go back to seminary to get my master's. He's the one. He's like, you should be preaching on stages. He's like, you have this power and dynamic about you. And my biggest supporter. So even though we're divorced now, I give him so much credit for kind of giving me the courage and belief to be all of me when I was very much raised in an environment that said, you cannot be you. You need to be who we've told you to be.
Did you grow that church from scratch, or
No, I
okay?
joined the team. So it was already
Okay,
megachurch when
okay,
I
that's what.
joined.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. And then this was this was back in the Midwest, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so when I moved to California, because I got really disillusioned, I left my faith, I left the church, I left everything, and I moved out here where I knew nobody because I wanted to
at
be.
what point did you know that? At what point were you like involved in this church stuff and was like, I need to get the fuck out of here?
It's when I realized I was queer in my mid 30s after being married to a man and having 3 of his kids, and I was like, wait. I thought I was straight my whole life, and I'm just now realizing my own sexuality. It was terrifying because what
So
else
you
do I
can do
think
that
I'm right about that I'm completely wrong on?
So see, I always wonder that when it comes to queer or gay or whatever, I always say, are people like born into those genetics? You're saying at 30 years old is when it
I
finally hits
realized
you?
it.
You
The
realize it.
signs were all there. If you go back, oh my God, all the signs were there, but I didn't have the permission to admit it. I didn't have the vocabulary to describe it. And I had too much shame to let it out. Like I buried it so deep that it took that long for it to finally come out. But it was there all along.
So coming up, being as strict or conservative religiously that your family was, and then being a Baptist pastor, what was your thought process of finding out your sexual identity?
Mhm.
Because in certain sectors or certain denominations in the church, they preach against that.
Yes.
So how
Totally.
is
So
that?
I actually give credit for my main pastor at this church, even though he's not the best guy. He did say, this church was homophobic and would not support the queer community. He said, you should always learn the opponent's side from their side. Don't just read about your opponent's view from your side, telling their story. And I've always had a soft spot for the underdog. So I always loved queer people, even when my religion tried to tell me that they were bad and wrong. So I'm like, I'm going to become like a very active ally. So I started attending queer events, going to queer spaces. I joined a board of trustees of my trans friends theater company, anything to support them. And the more
While you were a pastor.
while I was a pastor, so I was like very secretive because I knew my church would have a problem with that. And the more I spent time with them, I'd feel these feelings in my body around queer people. And I'm like, I'm just a very loving human. That's all these feelings mean. And then I remember being at some queer event and I realized these feelings weren't just like
You said
good
a
people
queer event in Minnesota?
in Minnesota.
And see, is that like I know, I mean, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, but I
Mhm.
mean, I grew up in a four-way crossing. So to find out, there was like one gay kid in our whole town, and I ended up going to school at UCLA in California. And what was crazy was when I drove up to California for the very first time, it was Gay Pride Week.
Oh,
And me and
wow.
my friend are like looking at this and we're just in shock. We're like, what in the hell's going on here in
Yeah,
California?
so
Like,
different from where you were
so
raised.
yeah, so like there in Minnesota, I mean, was there a big community?
Yeah, the Twin Cities are very liberal, and then everything around it's very conservative. So the cities, there's a lot of queerness.
Hmm.
And I had like a queer friend. She called me her queer tour guide, and so she would take me around because I didn't know any of this stuff. So she's the one who introduced me to a bunch of queer spaces. And then is at one of those events that I realized these feelings were I'm not just a loving person, I'm not straight. And I didn't know if that meant I was gay. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I was no longer straight. And what's so funny is the one person I was not afraid to tell was my husband because he was always very open minded. So I came home. It took some time to process. 'Cause I'm like, I look straight. I sound straight. I could take this to the grave, but I'm a very authentic soul. And that's not something I would do. So I told him, I was like, hey, I have something to tell you. He's like, what? I'm like, had this realization and I don't think I'm straight, but I'm not sure what I am. And he's like, that's amazing. He's like, tell me
Well,
about it.
but that's what I feel like for a guy, to
Right.
have that vision of two girls. It's like that's amazing.
Every guy's dream,
But
yes.
if he was a guy coming to you like, hey, I like a guy, they would look at that as so much. I mean,
Yeah,
from where
except
I'm
for
from,
me,
it'd be crazy.
because I'm pan, I actually have such a soft spot. I love bi men. Probably bi men are my favorite. I love watching men have sex. I love watching men with women have. I just love it.
What did you think about? I just watched the other night the Charlie Sheen documentary, and it was so crazy how he just said, "Yeah, I had sex with guys." He's like, "I'll throw that out there." I was really surprised he did that. I mean, that took a lot, because he said
Oh
nothing.
wow, I
But I
didn't
mean,
see
he
it
just
Doesn't
yet.
sit
came,
either.
and I mean, the part that was really crazy was, he said it's a tell-all, and he will not lie about anything. So there was a rumor going around that he did something to the Corey Haim, and so Corey Feldman put out a thing saying that
Oh, wow.
Charlie Sheen back in that day was raping him, which was weird because you never heard Charlie Sheen in that space.
Mm.
Now he says on the documentary, absolutely not, and he was hurt by it because he said him and Corey Feldman were friends. So he strictly denied that, but then within the half an hour, he busts that out like he's like, yeah, well, while we're on the subject, I have sex with guys. Who cares?
Wow.
And I mean, it's again, you kind of just look like, well, it's Charlie Sheen. I
Charlie
mean,
Sheen.
he went.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
So
crazy.
that's why.
I mean, you feel like you go through, and what's even crazier is I felt like he takes you through generations.
Mm.
Like, he goes through like 30 years.
He's been around
And
a
then,
long time.
bam, he's on Joe Rogan, like literally like a week ago. Or like right after I watched it was like the next day he's on Joe Rogan, and I'm like,
Amazing.
that's crazy. And then Joe Rogan even showed a text, and Joe Rogan put it out to the universe. He said back when Charlie Sheen was bugging, he goes, man, if anybody knows Charlie Sheen, can you please ask him to do my show?
Stop.
So he showed it to Charlie Sheen, and he's like, well, hey, you spoke me into existence.
I love shit like that. I have manifested the wildest things in my life. So I love hearing stories
But
like that.
great documentary.
I'm
I
going to
would
check it out.
definitely say check it out for
Okay.
sure. What got you to
Before you ask
yeah.
that, I have one more question on
Go
the
ahead.
religion
Give it to
side.
me. Give it to me.
Do you think that homosexuality, pansexuality, and all of these different origins of it, is it more accepted in church now? Because
Ooh.
I do start to see more people who are saying, "Oh, I'm extremely religious," but the churches have been a little more liberal about people's sexuality. Have you started to see that?
I wouldn't know now because I'm so disconnected from church and
Okay.
religion, but I do remember when I was leaving my church, I had friends introducing me to a whole slew of denominations that are very progressive and liberal and pro-queer.
Right.
And I had never been told anything about them. So I realized how much of a bubble I was raised in to think that this is how all religious people think. And I got out of that bubble and I was like, wait, you're telling me forever there's been churches and denominations that have always, not always, but for a lot longer than now, have accepted queer people? That was mind blowing to me. And that's when I realized, oh, there's always been progress and acceptance, but just not in the spaces I was raised in.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's super.
Yeah.
So what got you to California? Was it a
Pure
person,
desire.
a guy, a girl,
No,
anybody?
I was still with my husband at the time. And ever since high school, even though I'd never been here, I was like, or here in California, I was like, I just need to go to California. I feel like I'm meant to be there. I applied to go to college there, didn't get in the colleges that I wanted, and I'm going to college in Midwest. Then I came out, visited my older brother in my 20s who was in San Diego, and I instantly fell in love. And I was like,
I mean, who doesn't like San Diego?
It's the perfect city to fall in love with.
The air in San Diego is different.
So that's where you're at, San Diego?
I'm in Orange County, so I'm about an hour north of there.
Okay.
Yeah. But ever since then, I knew someday I'd move out there, but it was scary because it's so expensive. And so it took me years to gather the courage to
I'll tell you
move
something
there.
crazy. You know that place, The Cliffs?
Yes.
So me and a girl that I was dating, she took me there. And we were sitting there. We watched the sunrise or set or whatever it was. Well, we walked up this hill. And there was this house with like a fence and there was a dog there. So I bend down, to pet the dog through the fence. And I look up and it's the last house on the cliffs. So obviously they got all these people.
Yeah.
The address was 1111. And I was telling somebody about it the other day. And when I looked it up, it literally has went up like from where it was in real estate. Probably when I seen it, it went up like $3-4 million.
Oh, I believe it.
I was like,
Easily.
holy. But I said, whoever this person is, I am going to buy their house. And it's not even that it's a mansion, it's just a house, but it's the last one overlooking that water. And so when I saw it, it was a huge jump from probably when they moved it. So I'm like, you have to pick that address. Like that didn't just come.
Right.
I feel like you somehow had to say, can you do that? Would you know that?
I mean, well,
Probably.
I think when a development first starts, they give you some numbers that you can choose from, because this why you go to a new development, one address may say 13 Brook Ave, and then across the street it'll say 305 Brook Ave. So the numbers don't align because some developers do let you pick an address.
There we go. Get your 1111.
Damn, I need that. Yeah,
Right?
but no, San Diego is beautiful. Orange
One of
County,
the best
Orange
places.
County is beautiful too.
Orange County
Yes,
is nice.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you get out to California and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, there's a whole bunch of people just like me out here.
Well, I thought I was moving to the liberal West Coast, and I had no idea that Orange County was the most conservative county in California.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Really?
like pretty shocked because I was like,
Oh,
no, I
wow.
need my sluts. I need sexual liberation. So I was pretty disappointed, but it's a great space to raise a family. I have a big family, but I'm definitely a city girl. So I love going to LA. I love coming to Vegas where I can kind of be my more true self. And just out here.
Strip clubs aren't popping in Orange
No,
County.
we have like one, and it's a dive one, and we love it. I go to it, but it's.
What is it called, by the way?
I don't remember.
I hate to throw that out there, but no,
I would love to promote it
I
because
went
we
to
need
it.
to.
A lot of I'm best friends with one of the LA Kings, and
Okay.
I went with him. And
Okay.
it wasn't that great,
Right,
But
but
it
you
was, it
take
was
what you can get there.
and I think we went to a nightclub at the time called Time.
Okay, I don't know that one.
It's probably changed. I mean,
Okay.
people change nightclubs.
Yeah, we don't have a lot in Orange County. So
Okay, so then now you're in Orange County.
Yep.
And then what did you do next?
so before I moved out to California, I left my church.
So
kinda
the
went-
church that's how you were making money.
No, this is one of the reasons I left. They would pay
Oh.
their male preachers, but not me. It
Oh,
was a
really?
huge, there were so many issues behind the scenes that no one knew about except for me behind the scenes. And I was like, This is so
it's kind of male space.
Oh, totally. And they took me on. I thought they like really believed in equality, but I was like the token woman. Like, see,
so
equality.
were the pastors like W-2 employees? Was it 10? Like, how did they even?
Sure, but they're like, you are gifted and you're called. I'm like, really? What? Because as a woman, I was never allowed to own that. And so they trained me for years, and then they kept promoting the men. They kept, nope, you're not ready, even though I was way better than the men they were promoting. And when I asked for my pay, they're like, you're so selfish, you're so ungrateful, like just like psychological manipulation of like, I'm not trying to be ungrateful. It was so twisted. Part of why I left, and I was on food stamps for almost 12 years, and I'm like, how am I this smart?
While you were preaching?
Yes.
Oh,
how am I this smart? I have 2 degrees. I'm pouring everything I have into my calling, and I'm making no money. Like, screw this. There's got to be a better way.
Hold on. So I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's actually the reality of how a lot of people's lives are.
Yes. They look one way.
Well, they're in their calling,
yes,
but they're still poor.
Yes. Oh, this is literally one of my taglines I became known for is I help good people get rich. Because good people, it's amazing how much baggage, shame, guilt, unworthiness they have.
Yeah.
And I always tell my clients, you can never receive something you don't feel worthy of. And you're born inherently worthy, but if you've picked up a story along the way, or you've been ingrained with a story that says, who are you to have blah, 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 you will not let yourself have it. You will find a way to sabotage. So even though I was very smart and capable, intelligent, I always was fucking up money. And that's when I realized, like, I did all the traditional financial advice and none of it worked. And that's when I realized I need like life coaching. I need to heal my relationship with money, which sounds so woo, but it's what literally took me from food stamps to 7 figures.
No, that's actually true. So I was watching something online recently, and they said when someone comes in, starts working for the CIA, they have to train you to think that money is not evil, or what you're doing to make money is not bad, because we grow up with all of these sayings that keep you from becoming affluent.
Yes.
Because in some churches I have been to, they've made money seem evil.
Yep.
So a lot of it is psychological.
Yes.
And that's why I think that so many people, especially if you're aspiring, you almost have to get to the point in life where you're like, fuck everybody. I have to be selfish
100%
of who Will Roundtree is, or Nicole Mitchell. And that's the only way you're going to break through that psychologically.
Yes. You have to always tell my people, you're not leaving your people, you're leading them. So when I had to leave my community to like, because I come from a very poor community and I had a lot of guilt not saving them, but you can't save people when you're broke. In order to save people, you actually have to have a crap ton of money. So you have to go make a lot of money, which typically means you have to remove yourself from your community, put your head down, get rich.
Then go back.
Then you can go back and give. Yeah. That's hard if you're a good person. And that's where a lot of people stay stuck.
I tell people, I don't know.
I could tell she was a preacher.
Yeah.
I'm ready to give her. I'm ready to give her some money. True.
yeah, that's what. Don't act like that pay doesn't come in that little bowl. That goes right. I heard that. I was like, what?
That's good.
No, that's great. I just lost my whole train of thought, but it was a good one.
But you're right. It's psychological, because if money was just math, everyone can do math.
Everybody.
So you say this. I tell this to people all the time, and I say this is why I won't speak to like young music people anymore. You either have it or you don't, and there is no in between. And I tell people that, and I mean that's something like. Do you believe that?
I do believe that there is so Robert Greene actually I think it was Robert Greene, the author of the book, The Art of Seduction, 48 Laws of Power. I think I heard him say something about there are certain qualities and characteristics that you are born with. And there are certain things too that it's almost impossible for you to be extremely successful and affluent if you don't have certain qualities. So when people are saying like, oh, I'm shy, or I hate sales, or I hate doing this, they will never get to a level of success because they tell themselves that.
Yeah, totally.
But I think you can talk yourself out of that. And that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I think. So so like that's what I tell people. Like I've tried to help so many people, and I feel like as you bring them up that ladder, I mean I can't think of one person that I've like tried to help that didn't just.
They need psychological help.
They couldn't do it.
That's why I come in as a life coach. But this is a reason why I don't typically take beginners. Yeah. I prefer, and I was saying earlier before you were live, like I prefer serving the 1%, like the people who know they've got it, they want more of it. And so I actually help people scale typically from 5 figures to 6 figures, or from 6 figures to multiple 6 figures. Like, how do you have more without working less? That is more of a turn on for me than someone who's like, I'm not sure. Can I do it? I can't work with you. I need to know with those who are completely in, they'll do what it takes, and you've got some success behind you. I'll take you to the moon.
Yes. No, and that's what I see. I see a lot. You're either
You either got it or you don't.
yeah, that's
You're
why I
either
say
committed
it.
or you're not. Like
You
it
got
does require a
It's
lot
the
of
commitment.
grit. You
It
have
is
to
the
be
commitment.
I feel
tenacious.
like I've held people's hand right up to that door, and
Yeah,
they
because you
just
can't make
think,
the leap for
Well,
them.
because they
just
think knowing true is what's going to get me
Yeah.
the success. No,
Yeah.
It's
true is just a conduit of the information.
Yes.
You still got to put the work in.
totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that's what they
you
think.
said life coach.
Yeah,
So you do that.
I do. So I actually started that before my OnlyFans. So people gave me grief online, like, oh, OnlyFans model, try to start a life coaching business. And I'm like, I was a life coach before I ever started OnlyFans. And I was nervous to start my OnlyFans because I was told if you start an OnlyFans, no one's going to take you seriously as a coach. But it's actually been the opposite. People now hire me as their life coach because I have an OnlyFans. Because like, you're so free, you're so embodied, you're so expressed, you're making so much money, and you own it, and there's zero shame. I want my version of that.
Is OnlyFans? This is something funny. I'm gonna keep saying Savannah's name until she comes
We
in
love
here.
Savannah.
But I told Savannah, I told her I was gonna start an OnlyFans sponsored by her other friend, and she said, "Go ahead. It's not doing that great right now. Is OnlyFans going down a little?"
So what we were just saying,
Yeah.
those who are relentless, make it happen. I had one of my clients who hired me she just started OnlyFans less than a year ago.
Mhm.
I have an OnlyFans program that teaches you how to scale to multiple six figures. She took my program, she implemented, taught, and she's been in the top 1% after 3 months of being on OnlyFans. She's rolling in the dough. So I think it's the people who tell themselves the story of like, it's not doing well, they start to scale back versus like my client is like, nope, I'm all in. Nicole says, ignore the noise, do what it takes. And now she's making bank on there.
So I don't know OnlyFans that much like webcam. We had a webcam studio here. So they would take people from the outside that weren't already established webcammers. So I like studied it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this girl she's not stripping. This girl over here is more comedy. It's kind of like your own little TV show.
Totally.
It's all media.
And
Yeah.
you make your money how you make it. But
Yes.
these elite girls were bringing in newbies. And these newbies, they'd put in that 40-hour week and come out with nothing. And it was just like, boom, they were gone.
That's how most businesses start though, right? You put in the hours and like you don't see the return on your
It's
investment.
10,000 hours.
Yeah,
Before
you see a return.
And that's why I always tell my clients who do any industry, but including OnlyFans, I said one advantage, if you stick with it, most people are going to quit. If you don't quit, you're gonna
stand out.
You're gonna stand out. But if you quit, you're like everyone else.
Yeah.
How long have you been there on OnlyFans?
6 years this month, which I cannot believe. I feel 20, but I feel like a gram of OnlyFans when I say 6 years. It has been a journey, and I love it so much.
I want to go back to something you said about, people will hear like, oh, it's not doing well, so they don't give it their all. I noticed that too, because me, again, I'm a real estate investor. And you have a lot of people who are listening to the fear mongering of saying, oh, stay out of real estate. But then you have all of the corporate giants going in, buying all the real estate. So like, how do you work with somebody from the psychological side saying, information is dripped to people to keep the ones up top to continue to make money? How do you help someone get through that?
So I tell people like millionaires are made all the time in recessions. I made my first million in 2020 when everyone's like, it's tanky, no one's gonna make it, and I blew up and I was relentless. So I'm like, everyone's quitting, and I doubled down on my efforts, and I'm like, there is no choice but for me to make it. But I always tell my clients to Google people who made it when they should not have made it. And if you read just enough stories, you realize like this happens all the time. People make it when they shouldn't make it because they refuse to give up. And they choose to believe that, well, everything else is falling to shit, I'm going to trust everything's falling into place for me. I refuse to buy into the fear, because fear is like the socially acceptable form of living. But living by faith is not socially acceptable. So you're going to go against the narrative of, I'm going to be delusional.
I was about to say, you have to be delusional to be successful.
But if you want big money, you can't act logically. You'll just make a logical income. You want to make insane money, you're going to have to make some insane decisions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so you started in 2020 or just
2019.
Before 2019.
Yeah.
So how was that? So you basically went from this to the world off in the year. So that would have gave you every opportunity to stop doing it.
Right.
Kind of.
So when I started my OnlyFans, I was only making $500 a month, but I loved it because I had been taking nudes of me for years with nowhere to post them. And they weren't even for my husband at the time. They were just for me. I'm like looking at my own art and getting off to myself. And then Instagram was really strict at the time.
Is that getting off for myself?
Yes, it's my favorite content to watch. It's mine. Very healthy self-esteem over here. And so I finally had a place to post it and maybe make a little money. And I I have a very loyal following because I'm a very authentic soul, and I'm also very naive.
It's at church, just so you know. The whole congregation.
Yes, thank you, church people, for your tithing to me
everybody
year.
out there in Minnesota is following you. Trust me.
Yes.
They're like, check this girl out.
Yeah. So my fans taught me everything. Like I didn't know what TNA stood for because they're like, how?
What is TNA?
Tits and ass.
Okay,
I didn't know. And they're like,
wow.
I remember the first time a fan's like, do you have any BG? And I was like, what's BG? And they're like, boy girl content. I was like,
I didn't know that either.
There's so they loved it because like, oh, you're not faking. You're not like, you are literally brand new. And so I have a very loyal following that's been with me for 6 years because they've seen me evolve. And when I first started, I was fully clothed, just being kind of sexy. And then I slowly peeled back layers and slowly started making more explicit content, slowly got into sex content. And they're just like, it's like a front row seat to someone's documentary unfolding in real time.
So you do everything on there?
Yes, I used to do boy, girl, and now I do mostly girl, girl. My partner and I are working in the direction because I would like to do more boy, girl. I just love sex and I love humans. So right now I do solo, girl, girl, and we're slowly working towards.
So when you say that you were relentless,
yes,
you were squeezing in more scenes. Like what is the relentless part?
I showed up every day when there's no likes. When I got no new subscribers, no tips.
Regardless.
The economy's tanking. My family's rejecting me because I started OnlyFans. All 3 of my brothers cut me off. My 3 friends cut me off. It was like everything was screaming, you should quit and go back to how you were, Nicole. And I was like, there's something in my heart that knows this outlet is meant for me. Even though I know you think I'm psycho, you think I'm a terrible mother, but I swear there's something here for me. So I showed up every day. And when I wasn't making enough money, I worked 3 jobs. I was a coach. I was an OnlyFans creator. And I did DoorDash at night. Like I would do anything to make sure I made it. And that's what I mean by relentless. I showed up before there was any evidence I was going to make it. And that's how I made it.
So how is the commission structure of OnlyFans? Like, how do you make money? Is it just subscription based?
I remember from being around the girls that I was around.
Yeah.
This whole Bella Thorne thing of her coming in and fucking shit up.
Yeah.
It
didn't fuck me up, but again, I just tuned out that noise. I'm really good at tuning out any bullshit that doesn't feed my success. So when I first started, mine is subscription based. So it's like Netflix. You pay a monthly fee and you get access to all my content. Over the years, I've built like a massive empire in there. So I do live streams and you tip me live. I sell my live streams afterwards, so you get money. I have a VIP tier, so you pay an extra $100 a month on top of your monthly subscription, and that gives you priority DMs. You get free content every month. You get a VIP only live stream each month, like all these perks. I sell my underwear.
Oh God, I've seen that.
I sell signed photographs. Wow. I do one-on-one video calls. I do phone sex.
Do you do road panties?
Yeah. Road?
Road panties.
What is the road?
Teach me.
I'll add it to my revenue stream.
7 streams of income.
My daughter's mom, she had that. The underwear thing, so they would call them road trip panties.
Oh,
so she'd be like, I'm going from California to Vegas. Okay, well, we want your underwear when you get to Vegas or after you work out.
Yep.
I know she's got a shoe guy right now, which is super odd.
I have a shoe guy too.
He's like, send me your. It was crazy. She's like sending shoes that were still like from like a year ago, and I'm like, yo, like you got ones out there from like 6 years ago. You better start sending them shits. And then this guy would buy any amount. Spend. So she'd have to do like a selfie stick and go in the mall and he buys the shoes. I think he pays for it on OnlyFans and then.
Yeah.
So after hearing this, I have an idea for you.
Oh, give it to me.
Yeah.
After every interview you do.
Yeah.
When your fans know you're here at Green Room Radio.
Ooh.
Sell the outfit you have on.
Oh, I'm too selfish for that, but I will sell my underwear.
Sell the underwear.
Yes, I love that.
Green Room Radio underwear.
You know what's so interesting?
Do an auction.
So not only do they pay me that way, there's a million more ways I still make money there, but my fans buy almost everything for me. They buy my makeup, they buy my shoes, they buy my clothes. They give me gifts for my kids for their birthdays. When I took them to Disneyland a few years ago, my fans sent me money to spend on my kid. Like they pay for.
I'm in the wrong industry.
Everything. So if I ask, like, I need this thing, they buy it for me, and it is the best thing ever.
From people doing that, is there? I don't want to mess anybody's dream up, but can you get attracted to somebody who's just
spoiling you?
Oh yes. Like,
so for me,
can it happen?
I think it totally can happen. I would say I'm very much a professional in this way. Even though it's very authentic and you're getting to the real side of me, it's also a level of performance and
it's a character.
It's a character that you're fulfilling and a fantasy. Like they don't see me.
So how do you feel about being that my kid's mom is a porn star? She would say it's just work. But I mean, I noticed after a while, and not after a while, after having a kid, that shit would kill me.
Yeah.
But they're just like, it's work. And I mean, I understood that. You knew that coming into the thing.
Yep.
And so, I mean, do you have that issue now? I mean, with the person you're with now?
Yes, we have to work through certain insecurities. It's just human.
It's human.
Yeah.
It's
and he knows.
That's,
he's very supportive, but like once in a while emotions come up when we talk through it. And also say for everyone who's listening, like only be with a partner who can support you. And it's okay to have insecurities and feelings. Right. But if that is the dominating thing, it's not going to work. My partner's dominating motion is get it, girl. It's just work. And then we just work through the occasional thing that comes up. But he actually he jokes. He's like, wow, it does take a lot of men to take care of you. Because when they send me shoes and heel and dress, he's like, that's one less thing I have to buy for you. Like,
have
I
you
wonder
ever
what those
gotten
arguments sound like.
Have you ever got him anything?
Oh,
it was funny. I had mine got me because we started going to this. It was at the Forum Shop, some famous sneaker store, and I met the owner, and I'm like, bro, can we put these 500? Can you put 1,500 on them? He's like, yeah. So he would just because the guy didn't care.
Yeah.
Boom, he'd put it on there, and then I would end up getting 2 pairs of shoes.
Yes, you got to work the system.
If I was your husband, I'd be like, look, baby, I need a Bentley.
Yeah.
Have your fan, have somebody buy Nicole a Bentley.
Hey, that can be. So if you said he's struggling with the boy-girl aspect, right there. He's, hey, this guy's gonna get you.
Oh, I've been offered so much money for certain boy-girl content, and I'm like, because we all have a price point, and I am a slut for money, so you can, I'll say yes, but out of respect for him, I don't yet. So I'm always asking, like, what's the price point for you, for me to do these things, And so we dance back and forth in that line, but what I love is we're moving in that direction. There's no like hard no. It's like, okay, let's
how do you feel about the whole Adam 22 and Lena thing?
What do you mean? I don't like
how they're just how they're like I'm a strong. I'll say this over and over. I hate Adam 22.
Okay,
but
I don't know him, so I mean I know of him.
It's No Jumper Radio, but he had a kid, he got married, and then Lena, the plug, she has her own show, but she wasn't in porn. She's more OnlyFans. Porn girls hate on girls like that. Kind of they're coming in like that's an OnlyFans girl. That's not a real porn. But he then started like pimping her out to like the first scene was Jason Love, $10 million, but it crushed him. And I mean, it made a mockery of him. I mean, it made him look stupid.
Yeah.
And I think at the time he's like, it's just like saying if your guy was like, I'm okay with that. But then when it hits and everybody around you see that it hits, you just saw him just melt.
Yeah.
And now what I'm starting to see is, I mean, he's been losing everything, like, to do with his business wise. And I think she's finally about to, bust out and go on her own, to whereas he definitely put her on for sure.
It's so crazy because like relationships are so unique and dynamic and messy. Like there's those scenarios where like that happens and things implode. There's mine where like maybe it's like imploding in a good way. Like you just never know. And so that's why I'm now divorced, dating someone, and I don't want to get married again. But I've told him like I just want to take it one day at a time. I don't like predicting like, well, if we keep going down this path, it's gonna blow. I don't know. But as of right now, I love you and I love what I do and I love our boundaries. That's enough for me. And so I like to take it one day at a time and check in. How are you feeling? How am I feeling? Because I just hate hard and fast rules.
So let's say you're going to work.
Yeah.
And it's boy, girl.
Yeah.
And can you then go home to your husband and still have sex with him?
Oh, totally. I feel very much like a dude. We joke about this. Like I'm definitely a dude trapped in a woman's body because I'm like, I can have sex and I don't need a connection. Like, let's just go fuck and move on. And like so many people need a connection and it annoys me.
Right. So it doesn't bother him like, okay, my lady got penetrated by another guy.
I think it would bother him. Right. Which is why we're going very slowly in that direction.
Yeah. So that's
for me it'd be easy, but for him it'd be harder.
See what I said dating somebody like that, it was the pullback, meaning like, hey, I just did some scenes.
Yeah, I might need a
day or two.
Yeah. Recover.
So then
that's true. That's a
you might need to recover.
Yeah.
Then so that comes back on you.
I think
and then
about
you're like, oh my God, you don't.
Yes.
So now you don't have time for me.
Yes.
And you're still getting, even
you're
if there's no
sex.
desire, you're still getting
100%.
Something filled that I'm not.
Because I think about the opposite. Because I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes, so I have empathy. I'm like, what if it's the opposite? And he was the porn star. I had a traditional job, and then he comes home and I want to have sex. He's like, I already came today. I'm like, that would bump me. That'd be so. I
100%.
totally get that, and that's where like good communication and emotional intelligence is necessary. I think to have a thriving relationship in this industry.
Do you two go to therapy at all, or have any type of therapy?
I have a coach, so I feel like that's kind of my thing. And
What about for him or together?
Not yet. We talk about it probably every 6 months. Like we should probably get one.
Coach, guy or girl coach?
Mine's a girl coach. I had a guy coach for 5 years, and he was extraordinary. But I always have some kind of mentor in my life. I really value that. And for success, like I always hire people who have what I want and are further along to help me get there. So whether that's relationship wise or money wise.
Wow.
So it's not your husband. It's a boyfriend.
Yeah, my fiance actually.
Fiance. Okay, now
I proposed to him.
Now, do you make more money than him?
Depends. So annually.
And how important is that?
Okay, I love that you asked this question. So annually, I've made more money than him in a year, but he gets stocks and bonuses. And that's way more than me. So I don't get those perks. I'm a contractor, independent contractor. He's an employee. I actually teach a program called Secure Your Own Bag and Date Rich. I train women who want it to only date rich men because I was married to a poor man. And I realized the only qualifying factor that I was taught as a girl growing up to having a male partner was he just has to be good. But just because he's a good person doesn't mean he's good for you, doesn't mean he's good in bed, and doesn't mean he's good for your bank account. So after I got divorced and I was so sick of being poor and I blew up and made a lot of money once I became my own businesswoman, I was like, I will never put myself in a position dating a poor man or poor anyone. They have to be wealthy to know like they're secure, I'm secure, and I never have to be dependent on them. They don't have to be dependent on me, but together we're super wealthy. That is a requirement to.
So what's the qualifier financially?
There's no number, but I need to know that you're established. I need to know that you're like, you didn't just start last year and you had a fluke of success. Like I need to know like you've been doing this for a while. You have to be very secure because, when you're an adult content creator, I can't date someone who's insecure. It would destroy our relationship. But they have to be successful. And it's such a nuanced, subjective thing. But you have to have a lot of money.
Wow.
For me, for at this point, maybe if I was in my 20s, I'd fuck around. But I'm in my 40s and like, I'm done playing that game. Have money and take care of me. Yeah.
40s.
I do have a question rewinding back, and it was something piggybacking off of what True said.
Yeah.
Do you think that someone who wants to be an OF, content creator, what makes someone successful? Is it their looks? Is it their performance? Is it their I don't give a fuck? Like what
I think
constitutes?
It's finding that thing.
Right.
And I hate the word niche because I think we gloss over because we've heard that word so many times. But like, what's your thing? Because I've had girls who hire me to help them. And they're like, I have to show my pussy, right? And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. Do you even want to show that?
Hey, real quick, does OnlyFans, because I really don't know this.
Yeah.
You can have sex on there?
Yes.
Okay. Because I remember like my free cams, no.
Yeah.
I've never even been on OF.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to tell you something.
I have a site. You can go check it out.
And it's $6, right?
Yeah, $6 right now on sale for my 6-year anniversary.
And your address.
Yeah, 666. It's my post office box number.
Yeah.
I forgot where we're going.
Now you're gonna get a bunch of stuff to your post office box.
I love it. It's just DM me for my PO box address. It's on my OnlyFans. I get mail all the time, and I love it.
I've subscribed to one person's OnlyFans, and it was a black guy named Marcus DeBraids, and he gave stock advice, and he made.
I was about to say, True. Where is this going?
Well, everything.
He made me. He made me hella rich, and I've never subscribed to a girl before.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's at the end of the day,
reason.
OnlyFans is just a social media platform. It just became known for its porn, but there's coaches, there's workout fitness experts, and I have comedians who have it for their comedy. So it's
when 2020 hit, a lot of actors and people started.
Here's why I think a lot of people, even outside of the porn community or performance community, go on because there at that time it wasn't a lot of places online that had the integration to offer a subscription base.
Yeah.
And so for a person who's an entrepreneur to be able to say, okay, I want to be able to create a subscription without me having to go get a development team.
Yes,
it's brutally expensive to build out your own site.
It made it accessible to the average person.
Exactly.
And for OnlyFans, when you have another person on there, they have to be signed up and enrolled, right?
Now they do. Before you did not. You could do it with anyone.
Oh my God.
Now OnlyFans they've gotten stricter over the years, and now they have to be. Even though they say as long as they sign a model release, you can film content to anyone. I've submitted so many model releases and they're always rejected. They have to be an OnlyFans creator, so it's super annoying. But it's their platform, so they get to make the rules.
Do you feel like OnlyFans has taken over the porn world?
Yes, because I think about what humans crave at the end of the day more than porn is connection. And you actually can chat.
Looking people.
It's authentic, typically. You can actually DM them, you know, like you can never do that in Pornhub. It was just, you just watch, but now you actually can have like, I have a very strong community where I know them, they know me. And like, where else are you going to find that? Not on Pornhub, but you will on OnlyFans.
Right.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I love it.
What's one of the most bizarre requests you got?
Ooh. Okay. This isn't, okay. You were asking earlier, can you fall in love? And I think you can. And I think I tread that line very well. I've had fans fall in love with me and ask
Men
me.
or women?
Men. I have a couple female hardcore fans, but it's men. I've had 2 men I can think of who've hardcore fallen in love, and one of them asked me to run away with my kids with him. He's much, much, much older, doesn't own a home. And I'm just thinking, I don't see how that can compute. How are you going to take care of me and my kids, move to the boonies, and you don't even have a home? Like it, but he was so heartbroken. He had to take a break from my OnlyFans for like 6 months to a year. And I sent him so much love. I'm like, I will be here when you get back. If you don't come back, I want nothing but the best. And I think it was like a year later, he came back. He's like,
so they tell you that you can have like real communication with them?
DMs. I'm in the DMs every day. And once you get super big, you're going to have a team in there. But right now I take pride in being there.
That's something, you know, that was something that really like steered me away from it. I always thought before touring the world, I'm like, Jesus, if there was webcam or OnlyFans, I'd have been on that shit all the time. But where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought again.
Being able to DM them directly or message them.
Yeah. When you said they bring in teams.
Yeah.
So now, you know, that I've seen behind the scenes, because I know a ton of OnlyFans girls, to hear that their gay best friend is the person answering you. So now that deters me.
Oh, totally.
Because then I'm like, well,
it's a
shit,
risk you have to take.
Are you really talking to that girl?
I just saw a girl's page today. I always follow a new model every month to learn how they run theirs and get better at mine. And I liked in her bio, she says, I have hired a team to take care of some things and make sure things are sent out on time, but it's still me in the DMs. And I loved that authenticity and saying like, because you do reach a point where you are so big. I have drowned in my DMs and like 100%. I can live and breathe 24/7. I will never catch up. So I liked how she's like, I'm like, oh, that's a good way to do it. Have people come in and take care of some logistics while you take care of the more personal stuff.
Right.
I took care of that. I did the back end of like when you were saying mailing out the underwear.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't mail out 100 pair of underwear by yourself and be shooting the content and
going live and in the DMs. Like people want to make as much money as I do or other women on this platform, but they don't realize how much work I put into it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So we had, you know, Brad Lee was on here, and he's a big businessman. And we asked him. We had a porn star on here, and she asked him. She said, you know, what if your daughter, you know, wanted to do OnlyFans? What would you think about that? Now this guy will open for like Anthony Robbins and whatnot. And he had a great thing. He said, well, he goes, first of all, he's like, there's an illusion that girls are making this much money. And he's like, and they're not. He goes, so if my daughter was one of these girls making $500 a month, I would tell her, get the fuck off there. He goes, but he goes, but if my daughter was making the 100,000 a week or whatever these numbers are, he said, I would teach her how to take that money and invest it so she could be in and out of there.
Yes.
And that's surprising to hear from somebody like that. But I feel the same way.
Yeah,
like,
milk it while you got it. And like, it's not, there's no job that's forever.
I wouldn't,
you know?
If my daughter did it, I feel the same way. You know, if you're in that, if you can get in that top percentile.
So do you take your money and put it in other areas so that, because I heard you say your man, does he do stocks or he just gets stock bonuses from the company?
He gets stocks and bonuses from his company, but he also invests in stocks. So he does his own investments. I do my own investments. We have the same financial team, but we have
what type of
advisors.
Things do you invest in?
I let my experts do that. So
I'm
like something I've learned to get wealthy. So listen up for those who want to get super wealthy. Know your zone of genius and stay there.
Stay there.
I was trying to learn tax stuff and investment stuff, and I was getting so stressed because I'm an artist at heart, and I'm like,
it'll keep you in a rat race.
Yes, hire the experts.
I agree.
100%. Pay them to do it, and you stay in your zone, and that's what I do.
Well, I'll set you up for that question because they can hire me.
There we go. There we go.
You know?
No, I always said it's funny that you said that about being the artist. I'm like, you get to a point in your career, you know, especially in the music business, where you can't be booking yourself and doing all this shit. You just can't. And if you do, your art becomes whatever. Artists are just supposed to show up and do what they do, but it's the team behind them that makes them who they are. Like, 100%.
I help my clients with that, where I say, you don't want to, like, if you want to have it all, you cannot do it all. You have to learn how to delegate.
Definitely.
I have a hard time doing that.
Everyone
too.
does. Every artist. Because we care about our craft so much. And who do you trust? But if you want to scale and actually have time and freedom, you have to delegate. And it's never easy. I've hired and fired wrong people, you know? It's like, but it's worth
Here's one thing I've learned as I started to delegate more. You start to find out most of the stuff you're doing didn't even move the needle much for you to make the money.
No, totally.
It's just like you enjoy being busy because we're used to chaos.
Yes, 100%.
And as I started to step back, I'm like, why the hell was I doing that? It doesn't move the needle financially. Let me hire something. So yeah, that's what happens.
It's hard to it's hard to get people on the same page. You always put it like they're never gonna do it as good as you.
Yes.
Well, I think it's something else that Nicole said. As you grow, you outgrow the person who you hired.
Yes.
And so that's why it always feels like they're never doing a good job, because most people who you hire professionally don't grow at the pace that you're growing at. So when you go from making $500 a month to now doing 7 figures, I think your tax person isn't used to doing tax returns at 7 figures. They only remember the $500 a month. So that's the thing that I think we have to be conscious of. We got to hire better people.
Evolves too. You have to hire.
Yeah, and I mean,
along the way.
and you kind of sometimes these team people can really be against you.
Oh,
they might want to like take your spot.
They will your spot.
I've had teams milk me. They've lied to me. Like it's dirty because they find like, oh, you have a lot of money. Let's make this reason up. Let's charge her this. And then later I investigate, and then and that's why I just like, if you're a good person who's excellent at your work, like we want you, because there's so many scammers and people who just want the shortcut for your hard-earned money.
Yeah,
totally.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
I've been disappointed by many, but you still got to leave that door open.
You have to, and like you can't get bitter, because if you get bitter, it will cap your income, because then you don't trust anyone. So I was just making a video today for my social media that you're gonna be disappointed, you're gonna be hurt, you're gonna be rejected, you're gonna get mad. There's unfair things are gonna happen, and you have to heal from it so you don't get bitter from it, so you can keep going. Otherwise, if you get bitter, you're gonna quit. You'll get disillusioned.
And what's so interesting, True, as Nicole is sitting here talking, I hear the life coach more than I see the Onlyfans.
I know, right?
I know.
That's why I said it when I pitched myself as a wholesome slut. I'm like, totally as
Hey, no, I actually.
I have such a heart to help people.
I can see
I'll tell
it.
you from the moment that
crazy.
you popped on the thing, like I'll just throw this out there. You have it 100%.
You got it for real.
And I saw
really
that,
do.
and I mean, I get hit up a lot, and that message you sent was so. I mean, I showed it to like my bosses. I'm like, look at this shit, and you're like, do you think that's a good fit? I'm like, yes, that's a great fit. But I mean, like I said, you could tell. You're either about it or you're not.
Right.
And I like the people that are about it.
Yeah.
My daughter's mom, she's about it, and that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not about it. Or they feel shamed or this. Or, she's about it.
Yes.
She's about that life and does not care what anybody thinks.
That's the key to whatever industry you're in or whatever it is you do. You have to be about it. Like you have to be all in. You can't half-ass it, or you will get half-ass results.
Definitely.
You want crazy results, be all the way in.
What do you have any stories of any somebody you brought in and just turned their life upside down? Has anybody
oh my gosh
out successed you
so
with you?
I actually saw her just post something recently, didn't you?
Yes, I think I did 3 testimonials. I have a client who is like a sugar baby, and so I do help women become sugar babies. And she went from getting several thousand a month to, I think her biggest month since we've been working together is 40,000 one month from a gentleman.
Wow.
So like there's a skill to that. It is never, and that's why I train women. They're like, hey, can I have money? Men run if that's how you're gonna can you want to give me 10,000? No way. So there's a specific skill set I teach, and she really evolved into her personal power. Really like raised her standards for the kind of men she lets into the world. Into her world, because there's lots of people who claim they have money, but if you want 40,000, you have to make sure you're only letting in men who have 40,000 money to $40,000.
Are there indicators?
Yeah, men who brag have money. They don't have money. None of the super wealthy have it. Typically they're very discreet, very respectful, because they have a lot to lose. So it's the men who talk a big game, who brag. They're like, they have nothing to lose. There's certain websites you use where you can vet people, and there's little red flags. Like if there's a man who's like, any hint of bitterness towards women, not him. It's the men who are like, I love being generous. I love to provide. I love to spoil. When you get these little nuances in their conversation, their bio, that's someone you want to
deal with. My partner was FinDom.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she would say, I'm a FinDom. And right when she would say it, everybody would go and look at me. And I'm like, no.
Not with this one.
She ain't FinDom.
This is her job.
She ain't FinDom me. But, I've always, like I said, I'm real conservative. And, when I first met her, she was like, "Man, I'm so shocked at how shy you are," and I'm just like, it's an illusion when
Yeah.
you're touring the world. I'm like, our
You
backstage
put on the
looked like a
entertainment, the
fucking
performer.
daycare.
Yeah.
Like we all had kids. Like we ain't. And then I'm like,
So
and then I
true.
was like, do you think
So
that feels good? That's the feeling that I'd
true.
always tell people. Like, so if a girl likes you because she sees you performing doing this, do you think that feels good? Like with this whole groupie thing, I'm like, it doesn't at all.
Mm.
And I'm like, you see that a lot, especially here in Vegas. And I think what you're saying with how you teach these girls is it is all in a delivery, because when a girl says something like that to me, I do not like that.
No,
It's a
I'm
turn
like,
off.
you'll
run.
get
It's a turn off.
more if you just shut the fuck up
Yes.
and just go with the flow, because
Yes.
nobody wants to feel like they're just
It's the same thing
handing
for.
you
I always tell
something.
them, put yourself in their shoes. That's like a man on the first date. Like, are we fucking tonight? Like
Right.
that's like if that's not your thing, that's the fastest way he'll lose his shot, right? Same thing. You go for the ass that first date, you're crazy.
Well, so here,
Yeah.
so again, as you're talking, my wheels are turning.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed that you are really good at is you're a great communicator.
Yeah. Thank
You're really teaching them communication,
Mm-hmm.
because that's really all it
huge.
is.
I call it gracious communication.
That's really all you're doing is
Yeah.
how do you communicate what it is you want.
Mm-hmm.
Understand there may be a little bit of delayed gratification, but you
Yes.
got to sell him on
Worth it.
what he gets out of it in that dialogue.
Let me give you an example. So I wrote this post last night. I posted this morning where I'm in Vegas right now, right, for about a week. A gentleman paid for my private jet flight out here round trip. Another gentleman paid for my entire hotel stay. Another gentleman has been my driver, and when he's not been available, he's had one of his friends be my driver. Another gentleman has been paying for all my meals. And a gentleman's friend will be driving me back to the airport tomorrow night. Like, my whole lifestyle is funded mostly by men. I have the occasional woman who will pop in, and I love that. And it's because I've learned how to communicate. I've learned how to find the right men. I've learned how to know what I'm bringing to the table that makes them want to invest in me. And so women see this and like, I want that. And they go for the ask too soon. I'm like, no, there's steps to this process. But when you master this process, this is a very fucking beautiful life I live.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, do you do it's called what was it called, virtual dating?
Like
Or-
girlfriend experience kind of thing?
Well,
Or what do you
like
mean?
I saw these a couple of the porn stars that I know, they would go, like a guy would pay for them to go to Nobu, but
Mm.
again, he's just there, like on the
Like
thing.
on FaceTime or something.
Yeah, so it's almost like they call it a
Oh,
virtual date.
yeah. I don't do that.
I
I do in-person paid dates. So men will actually pay me to have lunch or dinner with them, and that's it. And it's one of my favorite things ever because A, I'm going to eat anyway. Might as well get paid. And B, I'm a great communicator. I love making someone across from me feel so special that these men are like, whatever you charge, I will pay because I want this. And I also teach my clients, I think seduction is often more powerful than sex. Because you can.
That's why the book, The Art of Seduction,
Yes.
was so. I had a friend who was a dancer, and she stripped. And I said, I'm gonna tell you how you can make more money. Just talk.
Yes.
Yes.
Just because a lot of the guys are going there just to talk.
Just to connect.
Like
Be seen, be heard, feel
seeing the
special.
TNA, that's bonus.
Yeah.
But if you just, how was your day? He's coming back tomorrow because
Yes.
nobody asked him how his day
Yes.
was all week.
I tell every
So,
girl at
yeah.
the Rhino the thing. Do you want to go in the back room? Do you want to go in the back room? I'm like, do you know if you would just sit down and
Yes.
fucking just act like
Treat them like a human,
like
not just
a
a
human
wallet.
being,
Yes.
and like
They'll pay you more
speak to
money.
them.
Totally.
Even because here's the deal, and I've told them this, like, you never know who's in there. And like I said, I've went in places
Yes.
and dropped bombs.
Yep.
I've went in there and not spent a dime. Well, you might catch that person, and it's just not their night,
Mhm.
but they will be back.
Yep.
And that person that just sat down and you gave them, even if it's just 5 minutes of your time,
Yes. You'll be.
he's
Yep.
going
Yeah.
to
She'll remember you.
He's going to V-line, or he could bring that whale that's going to do it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
you got to be in there with everybody.
This is why on my
Focus.
OnlyFans and even my paid dates, I take notes on all of my favorites.
Yeah.
So when I find out their mom is going through cancer treatment, I'll DM them, "How's your mom doing?" And they're like,
They're done.
Yes,
They're
because like
done.
that's when they realize like I'm legit. Like
They're
I love
done.
performing, I love making sexy content, but at the end of the day, I care about the other person, and that's why I have such a loyal fan base because like you actually know me, you care about me. They're like, "How do you keep it straight?" I'm like, "Oh, I take a lot of notes because that matters to me, and that's part of what I think makes me successful. I'm all in. I'm not just getting
Yeah.
there, throwing my tits out and moving out. I was like, okay, how are you doing?
So I know it's probably a different cost, but I mean, what would a general dinner date cost?
Usually it's $1,500
Wow.
for a dinner date.
And you pick the restaurant?
Usually I have the gentleman pick, but it usually depends where I am. Like if I'm in Vegas, it'll be somewhere in Vegas nearby my hotel or wherever I am. I set up paid dates.
Is there a certain tier of a restaurant?
Yeah, I always like if they ask me, I'll look up what are the nicest restaurants in Vegas, and I'll give them the top 3. Like, hey, one of these 3 would be amazing. I've never been to 2 of them, and they're like, oh, they want to be the first, right? So like, let's take you to this one that you've never been to, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Have you ever been a sugar mama?
No, I've had men ask, and I get really turned off by it.
See, they talking too soon. They're asking too fast.
I get DMs like, "You want to be my sugar mama?" And I'm like, mute, because like there's no connection.
At least let's have some learn my PO box first.
Hey, when you if you haven't been there yet, Barry's Steakhouse.
Oh, one of my favorite.
Oh, I've not been.
The bomb.
Who wants to take me to Barry's Steakhouse?
Yeah, Chef Barry. Just so you know, it dates back a long time ago. The Palms, when it was popping back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
They had 9 steakhouse.
Oh my gosh.
The chef there was Barry. So now Barry's is in Circa.
Probably one of the best steakhouses in Vegas.
No
period.
way.
Like I went there, and then I had Wu-Tang's. Shout out to M80. Wu-Tang's manager. There's a wait at that Golden Steer, and I'm like, I've never went because I just don't I don't fucking wait.
Yeah.
And then it was crazy. So he gets me right in there. Of course, I'm in shorts, t-shirt, hat. And then I met the owner, and she was like, don't do it on a Friday, Saturday. She's like, but I'll always bump people for you.
Yeah.
But so I did the Golden Steer experience, and it was really good. But
no berries.
Not even.
I'm telling you,
Barry's is hip. It's popping.
Oh my gosh.
As soon as you walk in, the ambiance is like.
I love a good ambiance.
It just brings you up another notch.
And just knowing Barry too, when he was at 9 and popular with all the celebrities. So we get this back room in the kitchen. So they have a 10-seater that nobody can see you. He brings, so you order what you order, but he brings a cart, and then he makes you everything he wants you to try.
I love experiences.
So they said like when he was at 9, they said, for example, like a Leonardo DiCaprio, he could call him at like 2 a.m, and this guy would bring his grill or whatever, just roll in. And he'd cook for them at any time.
That's amazing.
And so this guy, he disappeared for many years. And so it was a big deal when Circa, and you don't think Circa because, but that was, I know a guy who invested in it, and that was the deal. They're like, if you can get Chef Barry coming in here, you got the spot. And he got him. And Chef Barry's, I mean, he's
okay. It's on my bucket list now. I didn't know about it until now.
So next time you're here,
Barry.
Tell your followers, but they got to take the whole green room radio.
Yes.
Oh, I love this. Okay, guys, hear that?
Yeah.
Here's all the dates you're taking.
And have you done Golden Steer?
No, I've not done that one either.
So that's a good one.
Okay, this is so great.
Plug you in on, because, like I said, I didn't understand it. I'm like, what do you mean it's a 3-month wait?
Yeah,
and they're very pick and choose. And it was funny because she told me, she said, "Did your friend tell you what happened to him?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "I made him go home and go back to his hotel and change." But she goes, "I like who you work for a little bit more." So she's like, "I'm gonna let you slide today."
Nepotism. Nepotism.
I literally just taught a masterclass last week called "How to Be Treated Like a VIP Everywhere You Go," because that happens to me all the time. And there's part connection, it's part charisma, it's part communication, and it's a great way to live when you know how to not just get in the back of the line like the average person, because you're a VIP and you show up as one.
So your life coaching business, and I know we're getting close to the end. What? How do you charge people for that? Like, what does that portion look like? Because those two are two separate entities, right?
Yes, but it's so crazy because a lot of my life coaching clients subscribe to my OnlyFans, and I have OnlyFans subscribers who hire me as a life coach. So it's a beautiful blended space where like they can talk about their spirituality and their sexuality. They can talk about their kids and their kinks. There's not a lot of places where you can do that. Either on adult sites, you're only sexual, or in coaching spaces, you're only spiritual. And my work is very both. But I do anything from free masterclasses. I have a program this week called Radical Receiving, the Art of Being Given Everything You Want, which is $444. I have coaching packages that range from $500.
Where do you do these at?
Online. So I do promote on social media, and then I host them on Zoom, and then I email out the recordings to everyone who signed up. My coaching packages range from like teeny tiny ones, like 1,000 to 50,000, and everything between. I have a membership every month that's only $333 a month. So it depends like where you're at,
that, Will?
and what you want.
Set my prices up.
I'm like, you better get your.
Hey, I need to get my price. Maybe I gotta take
my
shirt off. So I don't know. Show some toes.
But I was telling you earlier before we went live, this is the advantage of serving the 1%.
Yeah,
money's not an issue.
It's
do you have what they want? They'll pay you whatever your price is.
Right. Yes, and that's what I think. We talked about it on a show before, just like experiences you have, and like the people who are meant to be there and who aren't. It's like you don't know what it feels like because you've never been there. So there's a lot of things that go over people's head really quick, but it's just like, man, I've been in those rooms, I've been in those things, so you know what's up. But I'm like, but if you don't know what's up, it's very hard to navigate.
Yeah, your network is your net worth. So that's why I'm always hiring people further along with me. I'm putting myself in the rooms where they know more than me. Because I'm like, I want to make more money. I want to be more successful. Learn from those who are further along than me.
What was that question I had? I said, so have you mentored somebody
who's blown up?
Who blew up bigger than you from your coaching?
I don't know. So my client who's in the top 1%, I'm also in the top 1%. She's not told me her monthly income. So she might be past me at this point.
Okay.
Which I think
would that bother you? Or
no,
would you
that's
be happy?
The goal. The goal is like,
because it brings more clients your way.
Yeah. And it's like, my goal is not to be more than you. My goal is for you to be everything you came here to be. And if that's your result, I'm going to celebrate the fuck out of you.
Nicole, you're going to have to add motivational speaker because the stuff I'm saying bars every time she says something. It's like, sheesh.
No,
she's good.
You're definitely different for sure.
She's good.
I knew that when you popped up on there. I'm like, she's different vibe. Wow. Still trying to picture the pastor thing. But
I know.
I'm like, you little.
So you wore pantsuits?
No, but I wore jeans and like long sleeve shirts and loose because when I had to buy thick bras, my nipples didn't pop. It was like a whole thing.
Oh wow!
And so your kids with that guy is he happy to see that you're doing so well?
Ooh, I may be happy that our kids are provided for so well. Yep. I don't think he loves what I do. I think he thinks it's bad, even though he was my biggest supporter and then he kind of turned. So he's like. We agreed to not talk about it anymore. But it's given my kids a great life. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become rich, being me, is to take care of my family.
Yeah.
And before we go, and we got some questions, can you let the people in the back know, Nicole Mitchell, it's okay to want to be rich?
Oh.
Because a lot of people have problems with that.
No, it's like you can't be rich if you can't own it.
Yeah,
you want to be rich, you have to own it. And I always tell people, money doesn't change you. Money amplifies who you really are.
Right.
If you're greedy, when you're rich, you just have more to be greedy with.
Yeah.
If you're generous, when you have more money, you have more money to be generous with.
Definitely.
So if you're a good person, you're generous at heart, you need to I say you have an obligation to get rich because we need more good people with more resources doing more good in the world.
Look, I say money just helps lubricate life.
Yeah.
That's it.
Life in holes.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, we play this game called Bad Choices.
Ooh, I have not heard of this one.
Yeah. So you just gotta answer the question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start.
You gonna let me start?
I gotta see where you're taking.
Give it to me.
Let me see.
Go hard with these ones.
If you were married, would you allow someone to have sex with your spouse for $50,000?
Oh, 100%. I'd let them do it for free. Listen, I just learned this about myself.
Don't say that too loud because then we're going to find out you're all like OnlyFans girl.
I mean, 50,000. I recently found out I don't know, I think the term is queen. Like I'm a cuck. I love watching my man be with another woman. It is one of my biggest turn-ons. And that was shocking to me because I was raised.
Do you provide the girl?
We both. I find or we find. Okay. And yeah, so they're going to pay me for it. Heck yes.
Okay, let's see here. If you were a therapist, which you kind of are, would you sleep with your patients?
Probably once our therapist-patient relationship ended. So I used to be a high school teacher. Before I was a pastor at a Christian high school, who are now adults. And I'm currently DMing one of them. He hasn't revealed his identity, but he's like, my teacher name used to be Miss Simpson. He's like, hey, Miss Simpson, would you ever sleep with one of your students? And I said, fuck yes, it's one of my fantasies. He's like, well, I live in LA. And I'm like, you can tell me who you are? He's like, not yet. I want to tease this out. So we DM like twice a week. And I've had two other former high school students pitch me. And this is like, I've told my partner, I'm like, the day we're okay with boycott content, I'm absolutely sleeping with my former high school students. It's so hot and taboo. I'm so down.
I'll just ask. Have you ever been blindfolded during sex?
Yes. Please blindfold me. I love sensation play. Surprise me. Oh, please.
So that's what the feeling gives you, the it's
you close
because
it.
you don't know
I love
what
surprise.
you don't know what you're going to be accepting.
So you're excited, you're a little nervous, and then you think they're going to come there, but they touch you over here, and I love it.
Okay.
Would you rather send your nude pictures to a stranger than an ex?
Can I say both? Love strangers, and then I'd be like, look, ex, look what you're missing out on.
Right.
That was the question.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Since you've lost your virginity, have you ever gone 6 months without sex?
Yes, I was celibate for almost 6 years, self-imposed. I was so hardcore into Jesus. I felt guilty for having sex before marriage. I'm like, okay, I've learned my lesson, God. I will save sex for my future husband. So I was celibate all through Bible college, all 4 years. I didn't go on a single date like a doofus. And then celibate for about 1 or 2 years after college. And then I end up having a one-night stand because I'm very much that person.
Very extreme.
Horrible. So I'm like, I'm a failure, not knowing being sexual is normal and healthy.
Okay.
And being celibate sucked for me.
I'm just going to make this question up. Have you ever had sex with anybody in the church that was like a pastor? Or hang on, actually, any pastor.
I'm actually having sex with a former pastor the end of this month.
Is it against pastor rules to have sex?
Outside of marriage.
Outside of marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dumb. And once I got divorced, I'm like, premarital sex is required because if we are not sexually compatible, I'm not building life with you. Sex is way too important for me.
Can you build that chemistry of, or they either have it or they don't?
Both. I think you're either more compatible than not, and then you work at getting really good at it. But like, for example, my ex and I, we were together for 12 years and he never gave me a single orgasm. That is incompatible. And there was an unwillingness to learn, and I will never put myself in that position again. Right. So my litmus test after I got divorced is like, can you get me off? No? Thank you, next. I did 12 years of that. Never want to do that again. But it's something you can obviously get better at.
Did he know?
Yes. I never faked it. We would talk about it. It was a point of contention in our marriage. But we both kind of just felt like, well, yeah, that sucks. So I thought I was broken. And then it wasn't until a guy gave me my first orgasm after I got divorced. Like, I could get myself off, but no one had given me one. And I started bawling in the middle of sex because I thought surely I was the problem, but I wasn't.
Well, we need a part 2, Troy.
Yeah,
it's so many.
I'm just going to end on this question.
Yes, give it to me.
This will be the final one. Would you rather be rich than happy?
That's a damn good one.
I'm a slut for money, so I'm going to go with rich because I do believe rich massively improves your happiness. But give me money, baby.
It does. Okay, so where can people find you, Nikole, on the internet?
Yes, I have a website that has all my links. So NicoleMitchell.com. It's Nikole with a K, Nikole. I'm the most active on Onlyfans and Instagram, but I'm on all the platforms. So come say hi, check out my programs, come join my Onlyfans. You're welcome everywhere.
Just like that.
What about you, like Mr. Will?
All right. Well, maybe I need
His OnlyFans is
right. Maybe I need to get an OnlyFans.
You need to get on her.
Give your real estate advice. Coaching advice.
Hey, maybe we cross connect on that. Mm-hmm. But they can find me at Mr. Will Roundtree across all social media platforms, and that is MrWillRoundtree.
All right, and then you can just find me just at Green Room Radio Everything. I had my page stolen, and I'm too old to keep up with 2 pages.
It's so much easier. I get it.
So, well, thank you, Nikole.
Thank
we
you
will
for
definitely
having me,
check back in
guys.
with you. You're cool. I'll say you're a cool dude.
Thank you. I am a dude trapped in this body, so thank you for seeing me.
But thank you, and we will see you again soon.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Green Room Radio.